yeah, like I was like young, I was naive, you know, I was experimenting with myself and like
We are cutting
Oh,
this out.
damn.
that was my Alright guys, so this is episode 12. It's good to be back. I'm excited with this weekly routine. It's like good. I think before episode 10 you guys went on exam, so there was like a few weeks of missing, and then we also like forgot to upload an episode, so I'm very glad that we're back on schedule and we're back on this weekly routine because I think it's definitely needed. It's like a good like habit. It's a good like outlet to just like share what we've been up to.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you guys for your support on the last couple of episodes. Really appreciate it. I appreciate you guys commenting and listening. Yeah, it doesn't go unnoticed, so thank you so much. But yes, episode 12, you're right. We did have a week where we completely forgot to upload or record, and then we realized that we had the backlog of like 1 week, I think. So it worked out fine. But yeah, everyone, I'd just like to say a very happy belated birthday to our number 3, our partner in crime. Lovely jubbly.
Yes, thank you
Steven.
very much. Yep.
Happy belated birthday, my man.
Thank you, Krishn.
Just wanted to say it on the podcast, so I hope we can get some love for Steven. Anyone that's listening, just have Steven in your thoughts. But yes, we're back today. I did task Steven with a task last week, but yeah, I finished exams. Steven's finished exams. You know, we're all just kind of happy it's all finished now. Steven, how did you go?
I think I went better than normal. Like, although the exams were a bit challenging at the beginning, I pushed through in the end, just never gave up, and also, yeah. How about you, Krishn?
I share the same sentiments as you.
That's good to hear.
I've pushed through, but here we are. Now, I tasked you with a task last week.
Yep.
To ask a hypothetical. Now, I want you to answer well, not a hypothetical, but just something. Just anything. And I want you to answer it first. I want you to give your perspective first.
Okay. So, if you could go back in time to your former self, maybe like 12 or 13-year-old, you're much more experienced, much more about the world. What advice would you give yourself?
You've actually banged it. You've actually smashed it, Steve. That's actually a really good question.
Okay, so I guess I'll start first. If I did go back in time to when I was 12 or 13 years old, I would say, study hard, work more harder than I usually do, because I know I do the bare minimum sometimes, and that like is a really bad habit. Also try to keep fit, stay healthy. Always listen to my parents, try my best to help them out wherever possible, because I found out how important it is to build a relationship with your parents over time.
Pretty good answer.
That was a really good answer.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it.
Alright, teleport man.
Oh,
Oh my god.
That's actually a good question. I think I share the same sentiments again with Stephen, in the sense that I know I didn't work as hard as I could have in some instances. In some instances I did. In some instances I'd essentially trade off my attention and dedication to something for something else. Whereas, like, when you study one subject more than another in high school, etc. Stop laughing, stop smirking.
No, because I'm thinking of my answer.
Okay.
Very cool answer.
And then that's on the the nice side as well. And I'd also tell myself not to be an absolute donkey. Just like just don't be a donkey. Like, the world is a lot bigger. Like, don't position yourself as this one big thing when you're really nothing, you know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but really just don't be an idiot. And just like, bro, I tell him that high school means nothing. High school, the amount of stress that we went through in high school, dude, for absolutely nothing. I tell him high school means nothing. I think that's the biggest ones for me, because I think after that I came out, learnt everything anyway. But yeah,
well,
what's
your
your
out the closet?
No. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but no.
You got something wrong with people who come out of the closet, Krishn?
I said, I'm muting myself.
Alright, so my answer is I was thinking back to my year 7 self. So I think that's like the 12, 13-year-old Andy that's in year 7. One, if this answer was like, are we traveling back in time? If we were traveling back in time, I'll be like, yo, Andy, buy a shit ton of Bitcoin. Put every single piece of dollar you have and just buy a shit ton of Bitcoin. Buy a shit ton on Amazon and just buy that, whatever savings, get into drop shipping. Like at the age of 13, I was just giving all the hacks to life. But obviously that's not the question. So the question is, what advice would I give to myself? So if I'm looking at like 13-year-old Andy right now, it's like this sort of like shy, angsty, not too sure of himself, wanting to get people's attention, felt like he came from the dirt and like gave himself too many excuses or like gave himself too much credit. And what I'd say to him is like, dude, like relax. Like, one, don't give a fuck about what people say. Two, what Krishn said, the world is like, it's so big, like you're like a tiny speck in the world, so whatever you go through, like it's like pointless. Three, like just have fun, just like have fun. Four, turn into someone that's fucking cool. Like right now you might feel like you're this nerdy kid that like his mum like coddles a lot. Like, dude, like if you think you're a nerd, like that's okay, but like become a cool kid, just work on yourself, become the best version of yourself. That's what I'll probably tell myself if I had like the kid, if 13-year-old Andy was here with me, I'd just tell him like, don't give a fuck and just like work on yourself, and like anything's possible.
That was a very good answer.
Just be comfortable in your own shoes. Yeah. That's the big thing. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, that's a really good answer, because I mean, it's sort of one of those more pertinent themes in like the coming of age stories and the Netflix dramas you see and everything. Is like, oh, you know, I'm not cool or whatever, but like just literally just own whatever you're doing. I think it'll be sweet.
I was just laughing, just because before Steven was moving, he like adds in these like little ad libs, and he also does it when he films me sometimes. So Krishn, tell me a story and I'll be like Steven. I'll do these ad libs.
Oh well, I went to work today.
Yeah.
We got our own ad lib man in the booth, bro. Fire in the booth right here.
You found out my secret. I'm actually a rapper. Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
You're something else.
Oh my god. It's like, the thing is, I think I do it unconsciously as well. It's just I think of it and like I try to like fit it. It's like, yeah, what Andy's saying is cool. Yeah, let's go do it. Ooh,
true. You're hype man.
And try to hype him up. Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
You're a hype man. You're a hype man.
So
that was a good segment.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, let's go. Woo! Hype man.
I hope you know that's not getting cut in. I'm not allowing that to get put in. I refuse.
So like today was just a long day for some reason. It was just like things after things. Like I initially had like 4 or 5 things that I needed to do. But every time I would do one of those things or I'd get a message, every single thing I did, once I'll complete one task and 2 tasks would pop up. Now I'll complete another task and 2 tasks would come up, and it was so frustrating. Like things just kept coming up. Like after this, let's see what I have to do. I have to like export a Zoom call about feedback for the course. I have to add all the course updates, all the bugs into this Trello. I have to upload some call recordings. I need to clear my desktop. I got this podcast. I also need to have my project manager create like a tracker for her. And like there's just like all these things, and it's just so frustrating when I can't complete it. I know that the only reason I'm frustrated is most likely because I just didn't get enough sleep last night, and I'm like a bit burnt out probably, or like I'm a bit like exhausted or mentally tired. But it's annoying, and I know the solution is just to like have an early night, wake up tomorrow, and things should be fine. But that still doesn't remove that frustration that I feel and this anger. Like little things would trigger me. But then I know, being self-aware, that it's just like if I get a lot of sleep tomorrow, I'll be fine.
So it's a trade-off, because you know it's really good that you feel that way, because you have a plan, you have a routine that you have a plan of set of things that you want to do, and you got to get it done by today, so that you allow yourself maximum time to be more productive on the following day or the following working day, so that you can, you know, maximize on that day as well. And it makes sense, because at least, like, remember before you didn't have that point of self-realization where, oh, it's okay, I can just do it tomorrow. It's because you've managed to compact everything within 2 working days. Doing that means you're extremely full on both those days, but you don't realize that you can actually, should you need the time, you can actually just say, hey, okay, you know what I'm going to do? Just chop it up here and paste it into here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got that sort of system in place now. We're able to do that. And isn't that see, like 5 weeks ago, Andy would have been so frustrated, would be like not slept tonight, would have ruined his morning tomorrow, ruined his day tomorrow. And now you're like, hey, look, I can do this. And you can pivot. But the main thing is you get it done. Like you can't obviously prolong it too long. But yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome to hear that, you know, you've got that realization going.
Yeah, and then like this was like a gateway to the next conversation. Every day, like I get a lot of shit done. Like there's a well, not like I get it. Like I get like a lot of things done, sort of. And like I'm always trying to do more work, give people more value. You know, invest in certain people, invest in you know, surprise people, go like above and beyond. And then some days I've just done so much and I'm super frustrated. And then, you know, Stephen, he's done nothing wrong. He's like, you know, happy, go get it, and he rolls to the workplace on a Saturday, and he's like had a good day, and I'm a bit grumpy, but he's like this nice, cheery guy. He had a good day, and then I'm like this week was long, but Stephen's here, will work, and then like I'm like, since I'm trying to say that I'm like a dickhead. Well, not really, but like Stephen would be like, yeah, like this week I was like super productive, you know, I was so like happy because like this week I went shopping with my mom and I felt so proud. I wish, and my mom like, and I'm like, is this I'm not gonna yell at him like he did something good, but my mom like, but I did like 100 things this week. Like you should be proud of doing that one thing, and then it's like, but like he's just doing his own thing, and like I need to learn that everyone's on their own journey, and like other people doing, you know, the most productive thing might have been taking their mum out for lunch, and that might be like a really big achievement for them. And I need to, like, even though I can just like I do that like whenever, like I'm like, yo, like family, do you want to like go out for dinner and just like take the whole family out, like all those little things I'm doing. But then I think, and then what I want to tie this into is Elon Musk. So he like yells and expects a lot out of employees because he himself is the CEO of like 3 or 4 companies. So when one employee can't do their one task super well, he's going to get so triggered because he's doing 1,000 times when that person is struggling to do one. And that's sort of what I'm starting to feel, and that's what I'm starting to go through. And hopefully by me letting you know, Stephen, you can sort of get more perspective why sometimes I might be like super triggered when I'm like, oh, open the door and put a rock to like stop it from closing, and he puts the rock behind the door, and like the door can still close.
Yeah, that was a massive screw up. But I understand where you're getting from, Andy. I'll keep that in mind next time.
No, but I also need to keep it in mind. I need to learn, because like that's not your fault. It's like, wait, actually, what's your third person perspective, Krishn?
Yeah.
I think it goes back onto what we were talking about 1 or 2 weeks ago, where you said during the day when you're at work, whether you're doing your thing or, you know, working with other people, you're so focused on getting your things done. You have a task of things that you need to get done, and you're exerting so much energy into getting it done, so that when you exert so much energy into mingling with other people or doing your tasks, and then, you know, it's fresh in the morning when you have this much energy, and by the time it gets to evening when you see your parents again or you see your family again, or where Stephen comes into your house during the 1 p.m, you've only got so much in the reserve tank left to be able to be that same energetic, bubbly, enthusiastic person in the morning, as opposed to seeing someone who is that same energetic, enthusiastic, bubbly person who had a good break and who had everything sweet, and he felt that he achieved a lot during the day, whether it's doing A, B, or C for himself, family, or whatever. It goes without saying that it's, yeah, you're right, perspective is key, because at least like it's really good that you're becoming self-aware, and like even me, like when I get home, I'm becoming a lot more self-aware. Recent experiences as well, I've become a lot more self-aware, right? So like from a third person perspective, obviously I can't blame you for doing obviously when he does, if anyone does stupid shit like that, it'll get to you. You'll just be like, it's like a small trigger where it just gets you, and then inside you're just like, nah, this, and just flip the table, and you're just like, nah, I'm done. But say for this instance, Steven's like a really good-hearted person. It's fine. But yeah, like you're right. You like it goes
Do you
without
watch,
saying with it.
like, have you watched My Hero Academia?
Yes.
So sometimes I feel like Bakugo and like Steven is like Midoriya, but he's like a Midoriya without powers. And then like I like freaking I like kill this major project, and then Steven's like, good job, and I'm like full torn up, I'm like scratched, and then Steven's like, good job, and then my mom like, I'm just burning him or something. I don't know. Unfortunately, people who don't watch My Hero Academia weren't able to understand the reference. But like sometimes I feel like an angry Bakugo where like I'm just like angry, but then obviously that's not. I think another thing is
You're
perspective.
overplaying.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not
because
actually like that.
now
I
I'm
know
thinking
what you
about
mean.
it. I'm only like this like probably 10% of the time, and like we're doing this podcast in this 10%. Like most podcasts, I'm pretty fine. So I do need to see that this is a small amount of things. But it's another thing that's super strange. It's like crazy how like these small rough patches, when you're in them, it feels like your whole life is like over.
Yeah, 100%. It's because it feels so hard to get out of it. It feels so hard to write yourself out of it, and because it can go on for an extended period of time. But yeah, like you said, I think the Bakugo example is a good example in the sense that you feel like, you know, the work that you've done or the things that you've done may feel may seem like it's done on a much larger scale or bigger or better, etc. But
Yeah,
yeah, like
Bakugo, like when he's like struggling and then Midori comes to help him, it's like, don't help me. He's like that type of character, and that's like a theme in a lot of like movies where like there's like the guy who always was the best, and then there's an underdog kid coming up, and then he starts helping the top guy, and the guy's like, don't help me, and then it's like a Draco, not really Draco. I don't have a few other examples. But obviously I'm not like a Bakugo. Like, I'm pretty kind to Steven.
yeah, no, like guys, Steven's our friend. Don't forget that at the end of the day, right? But then actually, I just wanted to ask a real quick question here. We can go wherever we want with this, but like, so on the topic of self-realization and how you became more self-aware, it doesn't happen like that. You got to go through stuff, and you got to become. Like, how did you go through the process of becoming more self-aware, or like, you know, like even for me, I'm going through that right now where I'm becoming more self-aware, and like, you know, when you take a step back and when you listen to the conversations that are happening around you, you can really gather what's going on. You know what I mean? But I think like that's one way I was becoming more self-aware is when I like made myself like you know how you said where you think that, you know, you can feel like a Bakugo sometimes in the sense that you feel like you're the superior at the top, or when you like allow yourself to like really take a step back and just stop and just like, I don't know, like how did you become more self?
Yeah. So one thing is like I'm still working on it. I'm not like 100% self-aware. But before I forget, I want to get back to the question. But before I forget, the crazy thing is, like, I'm self-aware where I know that I should be sleeping early, I should not be going on TikTok, yet I still do those things. So even though you can be self-aware and you know all the traps and what you need to do to have a perfect lifestyle, you still fall into those traps. So like, being self-aware isn't even enough. It's like crazy. There's one thing to be self-aware, but it's another thing to be self-aware and then like eradicate all your issues. That's like something I'm trying to work on. But on the topic of self-awareness, I think a lot of like empathy, like just being like, if you become a person that can put yourself in other people's shoe, empathize for people, you know, like see this like Asian scrawny kid like sit in the corner of the classroom, and you could tell like, and then he has like this small Asian mom, you could tell like he's just been this kid that, you know, his parents probably doesn't know how to speak English, and like he had to like learn English on his own, and his parents probably like came from like a lower socioeconomic situation, and He just sort of like never could like afford what all the other kids could afford, and his confidence just got lower, and his parents doesn't even know how to speak English, so they in the sort of society are already sort of struggling and sort of limited, and therefore him as like the son is like taking on the parents' sort of situation, and like being able to like see someone and sort of empathize with why they may be where they are. I think that like helps a lot with self-awareness, and I think and like what is self-awareness? Like that's another thing. Like is self-awareness just knowing like, hey, right now, or hey, I think I have an ego problem? Is that like self-awareness? And like that means a lot of people aren't self-aware.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one in terms of what is self-awareness, because you talked about being self-aware in with respect to understanding when you're procrastinating and wasting time and not being productive. That's still self-awareness. But then there's also the self-awareness of your mental and your emotional state, whatever, in terms of when you feel like you're being out of line, and when you know that you're not being a good person or whatever. So I feel like there's different, you can apply self-awareness to many different things, and you're 100% right. Empathy is the biggest one. When you're more empathetic, you're more understanding, realize it, and just more understanding of everyone's situations, and then you can become more self-aware in that sense. But 100% empathetic is the biggest one. I think that's the one that's kicked in for me as well.
And then one thing I just realized, I think repetition. So like I've been in like many times where I've just been in an angry mood, and then I found out that all the times that I've been in an angry mood was after a long day of work. And then I find out that after a long day of work, my head gets a bit cloudy, my like brain is like jolting a bit, it sort of like feels like a really light headache, and I'm like easily triggered by things. Therefore, and then like that happens multiple times, then I'm like, okay, so when I have a long day of work, I drain all my energy, I have a light headache, I'm getting triggered by little things. That means I'm mentally drained, I'm easily triggered. Now I need to just get some sleep, have an early night, and there's a good chance that even if I get 10 hours of sleep, the next morning I still might feel a bit groggy or pissed, because I've noticed that sometimes it takes 2 or 3 nights of good sleep. So now I no longer expect me waking up feeling all happy, because the pattern has happened many times where I'll get a lot of sleep after like being in this state, and in the next morning I feel like not like overly happily again. And then therefore now I know that like, okay, today I'm going to sleep, and tomorrow I'm going to feel better, but I'm not expecting to feel super happy and super filled with life, because 10 hours of sleep isn't enough for you to recover like a whole day of
100%, I agree with you there. But it is what it is. We'll move on from that topic. Stephen, do you have any other niggling questions?
You guys played Pokemon cards when you were little, right?
Yeah.
Now that a lot of famous celebrities such as Logan Paul are investing in Pokemon cards, how far do you guys think you'll see Pokemon cards going like on like the marketplace? And would you guys consider doing like investing in Pokemon cards as well?
I think it's a fad. I think it's going to stop. I think it's going to like die down. No, I think Pokemon cards have always been there in the sense that there's always been an option to trade. There's collectors everywhere. In Japan, you can literally buy Pokemon cards by the singles, dozens, boxes or whatever. It's always going to be like the collectible sort of item. You can't get rid of it. But the hype train that it's on right now is literally because of your famous celebrities that are, actively engaging in auctioning these off and purchasing them. And it's so sick to see though, because it's like literally what I grew up with, and it's like, it's sick to see. But I can't see the hype train that it's on right now maintaining its level for like another couple of months. I think it will die down, but like I said, it's always going to be something that people will continually collect and like avidly consume.
Yeah, I think it jolted up a lot due to all the YouTubers. And I feel like it's gonna dip down to somewhere in the middle, and you're just gonna have like a slow, steady rise over time.
Dude, they spent like what? How much money did they spend on one box? They spent like 100K or like
Yeah,
something
I
like
think
that.
Logan Paul invested like 2 million in Pokemon cards.
2 million,
Yeah, it's crazy.
$2 million on Pokemon cards.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
like 3 million AUD. That's like 3 houses.
and that's the
Pokemon
same.
cards.
That's the same guy that's trying to get a fight with Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah,
Floyd-
that's pretty
Floyd-
crazy. Dude, what's
That's
your thought
insane.
on that game? Like, I could call for my accountant. Be right back.
Yeah.
You guys,
No
give
worries.
me 1 sec.
One eternity later.
Alright, we're back. Sorry for that unexpected cut, guys. I'm super sorry. I was on the call with my accountant, and the call was like 30 minutes or something, 20 minutes, and I feel so bad because Krishn and Steven were waiting for that period, so I feel so bad. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm not the accountant, by the way, guys. Don't think I'm the
It's alright,
accountant.
Andy.
It's okay, but
alright.
yeah, I think we'll wrap it up here. We've been going consistent with 50 minutes, so we'll keep this one a little bit shorter. Appreciate you guys listening. Thank you so much for your time. Take care. Andy, I'll let you wrap it up.
Yeah, I really want to get everyone's thoughts on what's your thoughts on this shorter episode. I'm curious to see if it's better, if it's like more like sweet and condensed. I was really excited with the topics we talked today. Like, we really got deep and like got to talk about like, you know, mindset, and I was talking about like how I want to burn Steven secretly, and I said it in front of Steven. But yeah, this is a really interesting and fun episode, so I hope you guys had fun. Want to get your feedback, as always, drop it in the comments below. And yeah, I'm excited for these weekly episodes, and let's strive to 20 episodes. That's the next goal. Peace, guys.
Thank you so much. Cheers.